Alright, YouTube, so check out the video down below. It's from Don't Walk Run Productions. This is a content creator I've really come to enjoy over the last year. He came out with a video last year called AOC Economic Genius. It was a work of art. I mean, the thumbnail's great, the commentary's great, everything about it was great. So go ahead and check out the video down below. It's his latest video. He was talking about Andrew Yang and how he allegedly got his mic cut. Now, I'm not really willing to make a conclusion on whether his mic was cut or not. I think that he was definitely Ron Paul in the debate. But at the same time, I have to go ahead and criticize Andrew Yang a little bit because he was not commanding an assertive presence on stage. Bernie Sanders was. I mean, and Andrew pointed this out. Andrew's the fella who's the senior political strat or analyst or whatever on Don't Walk Run Productions. But Bernie Sanders was, like kind of flapping his arm out in front of him, and that obviously got the attention of the moderators. Andrew Yang kind of just did this, and he just basically did a quick body language breakdown, like, okay, it's not necessarily the best way to get somebody's attention if you're kind of timidly raising your hand, and I totally agree. And just overall, I don't think that Yang's presence on the debate stage was imposing enough for him to actually gain any traction. I think that, and plus, I think his ideas kind of suck. Now, the more digging into I do, or rather, the more digging into of his ideas that I do, I start to hear a lot of bad things. So, for example, this universal-based income is probably going to be coming right out of my paycheck through the form of taxes. So I would think that the best way to, and I've said this before, the best way to provide people universal basic income is through tax cuts, through taking less out of their paycheck, so maybe give people more power to save for their own health care, Social Security. Steve Scalise, Republican of Louisiana, he's mentioned this before, that, we ought to step out of the way when it comes to individuals saving for retirement plans, and I totally agree. That should be decided by the marketplace, and by the free market. So that's a really good point both of them make. And I also want to go ahead and say, like, Andrew Yang, like, I've heard a lot of things about his actual campaign and his campaign manager. First of all, his campaign manager is Jewish, and I think that when you start to look more into the conditions in terms of receiving universal basic income, and this might be fake news, this might be debunked easily, but I've heard that universal basic income would not be provided to people like myself who have been dubbed a white supremacist or an alt-righter. So that could be a big problem, and obviously it's very dishonest to say, oh, it's guaranteed for everybody. And I think that's the reason why he rejected the term universal guaranteed income. I think that was actually a Martin Luther King Jr. idea, who was a communist, by the way, keep in mind. He was all about desegregation and everything like that. And Andrew Yang, I mean, he's got a kind of a communistic meme following on Facebook, even if it's ironic or satirical. I still think that the people behind him, the people that are supporting him, really do support socialism, and that's a problem. Socialism, as you've seen, has been such a detriment to the world and its progress, and these people have the gall to call themselves progressives, and I get it, they're technically progressives. Trump is a progressive too, you look at what he's been doing, but the actual term for progressive is one who uses the means of government to effect change. And I think that term has been kind of hijacked by the left, but there have been right-wing progressives. You've got Teddy Roosevelt, Ross Perot, who I consider to be right-wing, may he rest in peace, by the way, and just various other people. Trump. I mean, I can't even call Trump really right-wing. I mean, I guess in today's dichotomy, sure, yes, he is right-wing, but still at the same time, I don't know. I think Trump's kind of in a league of his own. But yeah, in closing, I'd just say I think that regardless of whether Andrew Yang got screwed at the debates, he did not take advantage of the time that he had. And I also have to look at, there was this movie that came out like about a decade ago with Robin Williams where he was playing, I think this was Man of the Year, or that could have been Chris Rock's film. I'm not sure, but Robin Williams was playing a presidential candidate, and he would be on the he'd be on the debate stage, basically talking over the moderators, trying to get his 2 cents in, and that's exactly what Andrew Yang needed to do. That's what Bernie Sanders has been doing. Give Bernie Sanders credit. I mean, even at his old age, he's still fairly high energy, and not as much as he was 4 years ago, of course. But if you're Andrew Yang, you have to realize, look, these moderators are not on your side. You gotta stick your neck out there and take a risk, for God's sake, because if you don't, then you probably won't get a second chance at the debate, or rather, get another chance at the second debate. So I implore Andrew Yang, look, be assertive, be more assertive. Actually, that's the only word I could actually use to describe the behavior that you should use to really get your voice across. Even if rather your points across. Even if your ideas suck, stand behind them. I know the majority of the country is going to reject Yang. Trump's going to get reelected, no doubt about it, like he did before. He got 80% of the vote, and that's obviously that was skewed by voter fraud and stuffing the ballot boxes. I mean, they did everything they could to get Hillary elected, including blackmailing and buying out Bernie Sanders, which was something that his fans like to turn a blind eye to. I mean, come on, 3 houses through a book deal. Does anybody know about money laundering? I mean, come on. Anyways, kind of rambling here. I'm probably going to lose a lot of subscribers, so that's all right. I'd rather you guys know where I am on this issue, but if you guys got a problem with it, I guess fuck off. I don't know. Or no, more diplomatic here. Leave a comment in the comment section. We can have a discussion about it. But then again, I mean, a lot of these people I've talked to in the comment sections, especially the ones that are the Bernie Bros. They just keep repeating talking points. Oh, how are you going to pay for healthcare? How are you going to afford Social Security if you're not taking anything out of your paycheck? I'm like, oh, I don't really care about that shit. I'm going to die like a man. I'm not going to die like hooked up to a fucking feeding tube. Are you fucking kidding me? I mean, these are the way these fucking soy boys think. Like they're going to go gracefully in their little their hospital beds, like with a urine-soaked mattress. I don't think so. That's not me. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. God bless, and I'll see you later. Video's down in the description. Check it out. Bye.